Hey church family, I've got a question for you. And the question is, what makes you angry? Again, what makes you angry? Last week, Pastor Andrew sent out a devotional titled, Is Someone's Social Media Posting Driving You Crazy? If you didn't see it, I'd encourage you to hop on over to our church's YouTube channel and check it out. In one sense, it may seem kind of unfair to ask the question, is someone's social media posting driving you crazy? Maybe you look at that and you think, someone's? How about everyone's? I don't know if you've noticed, but in many ways we are a divided people right now. And almost everyone has got an opinion about almost everything. And a lot of us feel like social media is a great place to share those opinions. And for a lot of people, the result is an increase in our anger level. A friend of mine was telling me about a bumper sticker that he recently saw that said, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Maybe a lot of you feel the same way, that we should be angry. We should be angry about injustice. We should be angry about poverty. We should be angry about racism. We need to be angry. But the danger is we can get angry and substitute anger for action. James has some important words in James chapter 1 and verse 20. He writes, human anger does not achieve God's righteous purpose. The University of British Columbia did some research in this area. And what they discovered is that people who click like on angry posts about injustice and the poor in the world are in fact less likely to contribute money or time to help the poor. A man named Brant Hansen has written a book called Unoffendable. He's part of an organization that goes around the world to the developing nations to provide medical care for impoverished children. In his book, he says, the myth of righteous anger actually impedes taking action because it lets us congratulate ourselves for a feeling rather than for doing something, while someone else is sacrificing their time and treasure to genuinely benefit the poor. So am I saying don't get angry? No, I'm simply saying don't confuse anger for action. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. warned against this. He told an audience at Carnegie Hall in 1968, it's not enough for people to be angry. He said, we must not content ourselves with hurling invectives for emotional release and then retiring into smug, passive satisfaction. He said our task is to organize so our anger transforms into love, so that ultimately our goal is not to destroy people, but to redeem people. I love that challenge because the Bible repeatedly gives us the command to act, but it never says to act out of anger. Instead, we should be motivated by something different, and that something different should be love. In fact, the Apostle Paul wrote some words about that in 1 Corinthians 13 when he talked about what motivates us. He says, if we do something good without love as our motivation, then we're nothing but a bunch of noise. What the world needs now more than ever is not a bunch of people patting themselves on the back for being angry. We need people who actually act to set things right. So don't just get angry about injustice, do something about injustice. Don't just get angry about homelessness, do something about homelessness. Don't just get angry about racism, do something about racism. Anger might, and I emphasize might, be the place to start, but it's never the place to stay. Again, remember, human anger does not achieve God's righteous purpose. It's love that does that. And it's my prayer that our love would move each of us from anger to action. May it be true for you. May it be true for me. God bless.